Something went wrong. You're a little too fat and a little too long. Hello, everybody. It is Thursday, and I'll tell you what, that is one fine album. I highly recommend that you have it. It is, of course, Spirit and the 12 Dreams of Dr. Sargonicus. Far out music, that's all I got to say. So I hope that you are where you want to be and that you're just surrounded by that positive energy. And welcome, everyone. It's good to see you. Speaking favor over us. Favor meaning, you have the right before you the opportunity to experience the very best of whatever it is, this realm, life, whatever. So, Embasto, I love it, being of service to others. Remember, be of service to yourself first, and then you can replicate that in others. So what's happening? And happy birthday if you got one. And hey, all I got to say about this, prosperity is a reality. It truly is. And we're going to be talking about that today. So what's up, everybody in the chat room? How y'all doing? Nancy, good to see you. And Lori, Emperor, David, Barry, brother, I've had you on my spirit a number of times. So good to see you. Just been sending you energy. Been wondering where you are and wherever that was. I hope it's been good to you, brother. Good to see you. Got to get together, man. Get the band back together. That's what I'm saying. So good to see you, David. Much love to you and the family as well. Bonnie, good to see you. DC, Lost in Space. How you doing, my friend? Odin, good to see you as well. Mr. Floyd, I love it. How you doing? Jackie, hello. Linda Espinoza, how are you? Good to see you. Laura, good to see you as well. And Jackie, Sharon Alvarado, how are you doing? Yes, it's like a long time. So glad you're here. Thank you. Love the energy, man. It's like, lifting me higher. That's all I got to say. Yeah, sing it. My wife says that's one of the best things she says about marrying me. She says it's always a song. But anyway, hey, Kat, good to see you as well. Robert V, how are you? Robert V is in the house. So, yeah, what's going on? Next Wednesday, which I believe is the 24th, having Natasha, the birthday gift on her channel. That's her channel, the birthday gift. Got to talk about this because for myself, things have changed. And I mean, not in a small way, not poquito. No, not de minimis. No, we're talking, it's like a 180 degrees on the compass. Everything, energy, thoughts, karma. Yeah, karma can change. The universe, I want to say this because it came out today. The universe does reward. And as I said, there can be a complete reversal in energy, circumstances. Circumstances, if you break that word, means it is circular in a stance, So, yeah. And temperance. I know for myself and for my wife, I mean, and it's not important, the details. But it was serious. And as it was told to me, the gods are even they're shaking their head going, wow, he handled and her handled, they handled that pretty good. In fact, we really didn't expect them to handle that as well as they're doing. Would you look at these two? And, what was designed to be to your harm will in fact turn to your profit. That's a fact. And I guess today, I just want to just edify everybody because what's happening in our lives, Lynn and myself, folks, if I were back in the days of my religious indoctrination, this would be proclaimed as a miracle, an absolute miracle. Miracles do happen, but I believe that each and every one of us are the impetus of every miracle that shows up in our lives. And, you know, sometimes it takes time. When you've been hurt, I mean, deeply hurt, it's really a testing of who and what you are. Do you react in anger, frustration? Hey, Scott, how you doing? Good day to you, my friend from Australia. How you doing? Thank you all. You know, do you seek a curse on them? Do you wish that they would endure what you just went through? Or are you of the mindset that says, nah, not going to do that. Not going to go down that road. In fact, I'm going to speak favor over them. Yeah. Oh, this hurt. This was one of those life moments. It wasn't easy. A lot of pain. A lot of pain. But now I'm going to speak favor over them. May they find the very best of what they desire. Now, I got to tell you, there was a period when Lynn and I, both on personally and because we are joined together collectively, and we just said, no, not going to hold any animosity. No, no ill will, no ill feelings. No, no. And it's kind of almost like a funeral, you know, you just say, nope, 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 going to put that, it's dead. Yeah, going to move on. And there's this period that, and I lived it out on this channel because, you know, do these shows every day on the weekdays most of the time. And, you know, FYI, in the future, I'll be doing less and less because of the changes that are taking place in our life. On the other side, we'll pick it back up. But yeah, just telling you right now, folks, there are changes happening in our lives. And there was this lull. You know, it was like, it seemed like nothing was going on. Nothing seemed to be working. It was kind of going like through the desert. As I told Lynn, I said, dang, you know, it felt like this. And then for myself, just saying for myself, there was a shift in the heavens, the universe. And it's been profound. You know, when it happens naturally, that's a sign. And speaking of signs, holy crap, Batman. I mean, you know, it was as if the spirits were, you know, painting it in the sky. And it was just coming up all the time, over and over again. And again, this is a video diary. Hey, Shannon. Yes, you got that right, dear. Hey, Trina, how are you, my love? So things have been, wow, it's amazing. So if you're in that place, temperance is the word. And by the way, if you're into tarot, Jenny, where are you, by the way? When that card comes up, I mean, there's been stuff happening that has been so freaking repetitive in its message, different flavors, but yet, and I wrote a lot of this down. So when it comes naturally, I mean, folks, this Lynn and I were laughing and crying at the same time because we're in awe. And I know that what's happening to us, it's not just us. Every one of you have to have the same opportunity. I don't see it segregated like that. It's the mindset. And you know what I love about this group? Hey, Divine Empress, how you doing? Off the hook, what's up? Is that we've been learning together, cover a lot of material, doing these noonday shows for almost 7 years. I look back and I go, wow. I mean, there has been so much happening. And I'm here today because, as the title of the program is, you can't argue the results. Folks, this stuff works. I don't know where you are. I don't know where you are on your path, but we've learned some things here together. And I think one that we could all agree is that if you try to force something, that's not natural. And the spirits won't get involved in that. I will say this. There are times where it seems like the universe is actually against you. No matter what you do, it doesn't turn out. No matter what you say, it doesn't seem to be bearing any fruit. I mean, it's like you're doing all the gardening and the plant looks great, but it's not producing anything. And you're going, okay. So, and you know, where injustices are done, deep injustices. Well, thank you, Melinda. It got sad there. I mean, this group, all of you who watch this channel, and thank you for hitting the like button as well. Odd thing that we live in a reality. Hey, do you like it? Well, you know, either you're here to enjoy it or to criticize it, one of the two, I guess. So no matter what you're doing, have fun with it. But this group has been amazing. You know, as I will look back on the review of my experience in this realm, so many of you vicariously have played a huge role. And apparently I've done the same with many of you. I've got thousands of emails on that. By the way, I'm behind on the emails. Be patient. Sending out there, Heidi and, you know, the others that just be patient. But you've been, you know, there's a proverb that says iron sharpens iron. And I will say that this journey with all of y'all have been one that has enriched me for all of this eternity. And there are many different eternities. But so a big thank you all, because the things in our life are actually happening. And, you know, when it actually starts going, you're going, that's not. And this is the thing. You get so used to one way that the energy is that when it reverses, you sit kind of going, now, wait a minute. It almost feels unnatural. It's like, you know, that's not how it used to go. Is this like just a one-trick pony or what's going on here? And then when it starts happening again and again, again and again and again, and each time it happens, it's happening from a different direction. You're going, wow. It causes you to stop. It really does. Someone needs to hear this. Don't leave this life until you are fully satisfied. Don't leave wanting. Leave as the queen you are, the king that you are. This came to me right before we went live. You can still have the life that you were meant to have, the life that you have always wanted. It's never too late. Never too late. So find your desire, begin to flow in the natural flow of your own energy. Now, that's harder to do than what it sounds. It's not cliche-ish. It's hard work. Odd that when you use the word to flow naturally, that you actually have to work towards it. Why? Because it's the mindset. And if you are like so many others, where disappointments come not in pairs, but six packs, it seems like, you become adaptive to that. And so, it's this friction. But if you can find it, and once you do, begin to trust it, intuitively trust it. Never second guess yourself. If you can learn that first instinct, wow, things change. And it never hurts to say thank you to the universe. Now, that can be whatever you wanted that to be, whatever you envision, but the universe will speak back. And as we learn through the Kabbalah, that balance. Nature abhors a vacuum, right? And the balance is where we all seek to find that equilibrium, that we know where we stand. Yeah, it can happen. So kind of what I'm trying to tell everyone who's listening, receive it if it if it vibes with you. Don't give up. You can have that life. And it doesn't matter what the world economy is. The universe isn't ruled by our economy. The spirit realm is not dictated by our economy. Right now, if you were so led, you could be led out into the wilderness and something tells you to start digging. What I'm trying to say, there is enough gold everywhere to make you rich. And again, as I went and detailed yesterday, rich, different meanings for everyone. As I considered like this, if you have your health, then you already are rich. I mean, that's priceless. Because from there, you can begin to expand out. And if you have all of your needs met, as we were talking about yesterday, we live in a weird realm here where you come into this place and that sucks the best years of your life. Most people work 40, 45 years, some longer. And for what? Zaps you. Welcome to the machine, right? Just kind of go up here, but that's how it is. And you work for a lifetime, and wow, I don't know. I see a lot of unhappy people. It's like, well, you get down to that point, and you're going, well, what the hell? But if you have your needs met, well, that affords you a lot of freedom. as I have keep saying to you, get out of debt. Get out of debt. You're a slave to, the lender. It's what Proverbs always says. The borrower is slave to the lender. And that's so true. But, and it gets back to that response. What I find amazing about this, hey, Mary Wynn's good to see you. Hey, it's Project Skyfall. Is that core energy. I know Trina and I talk about it, on our Tuesday show. And, when you're going through a transformation, it can be unsettling. But once it goes through, wow. So, spent 20 minutes on that. Could spend hours on it. It's a different feeling. It really is. It's humbling. I will say that. And, the overwhelming sense of gratitude to, all the energies that when you get into that place where there is nothing missing, nothing broken, it's not just a saying, it's a state of consciousness. And once the universe sees that that is how you emit your energy, it's drawn and attracted to you. Things begin to change. As I said, luck. Luck has a tremendous role to play. It's involved in every philosophy and every religion and everything else. We as a species love to have the thing of games. We love playing games. It's what we do as kids. We do it as adults. We just do it in different ways. And if there's a game, that there is a certain skill that is required. But then you've got that element, you hear it all the time, beginner's luck. Well, what is that saying? She's like the luckiest thing around. Yeah. Luck. The spirits love the idea of luck. It's that randomness, Why is it that one person can win no matter what they do and the other person loses every time no matter what they do? You've seen it. There are some people who are just naturally attract what I call taking proper advantage of the opportunity. That's what luck is. Now, there is a certain divineness, I think, imagine, and I've seen it with the spirits that deal with me. Many of them have been very frustrated. It's like, man, is he ever going to get this? Yeah, finally did. But you can have that opportunity of being at the right place at the right time. And it doesn't hurt to have a little bit of a crowd on the other side going, oh, yeah, and they can do it. They can. I mean, they can see, and they can see that, there's all sorts of things. We're coming up to the fall. I love the fall, and you got the county fairs, state fairs, and all the other fun stuff that we used to be able to do, and it's coming back. But, there's raffles, and when it comes into that skill about the games, luck. I mean, we've all experienced it. Golf is a game of luck. At least that's my opinion. So live, love, laughter. Sharon, that is the way to do it. Absolutely. So it's changing. And I'm really looking forward to this. It's When the tower collapse, if you ever get the tower card, and I've learned that enough from Jenny and the others that have shown, and through even furthermore, that it's not always a bad card. You know, when sometimes the most deeply moments happen, you find out what really you are. And I'm happy to say that because of all of y'all, much better and much more wealthier, no doubt about it. So anyway, Susie Q is a rebirth card. Yeah. Amazing what those cards would do. I mean, they really do. Hey, there was a time in my life where, I would have burned a card of tarot cards, because that was of the devil. That's that terrible thing. And when you realize that, sometimes it's just a different vehicle. For instance, I have seen that in my day, we would lay hands on people and then we would prophesy over them. Well, I was prophesied that, in our prayer group, I was prophesied that this was going to happen. Okay. So how's it any different if you're using a deck of cards that represent, I think, most aspects of all aspects of life? None, zero, nada, not a bit of difference. And if you have someone who is particularly gifted and they consistently exercise that gift, yeah, far out. It gets even better, because I can tell you from the religion I came from, there were those who were gifted in the gift of prophecy. Okay. Doesn't the book of Proverbs says the dice are cast and the lot is decided? Well, isn't that special? So I don't see the difference in it. I really don't. I'm just going, okay. I mean, a bird of a different feather. That's all. I'm still a bird, right? So Hari says guidance and inspiration. Yeah. I think Jen's okay. I haven't heard Susie. Do you know? I have emailed her and haven't heard back. Like Queen of Swords, I love her handle, kind of tells you right there, right? Been having the Ace of Cups, the King of Cups, and the Queen of Cups. I mean, yeah. Oh, no, that's just funny. Rage Against the Machine. That's just funny. The Torah and the Tarot. Yeah. The Torah and the Tarot. Yeah. Okay. All right. I kind of figured something was up. Didn't sense anything of a negative nature. So thank you, Susie Q. But anyway, so as I've told you, signs everywhere. The 5-man electrical string band, remember their song? Sign everywhere, sign, blocking up the scenery, blowing my mind. Anyway, hey Isby, what's up? Paul Joe, good to see you as well. Signs, they have been everywhere, and particularly the last 10 days. And now that we're seeing the fruition of things, it's just wow. That's all I can say. Thank you, Amazon. Says, well, thank you very much. Anyway, it's so fun. Hey, Gilbert, how you doing, my friend? So good to see you. I love this group. So there you go. There we go. Chris, so my prophecies have all come true. Yeah. Man, I tell you, that's why I find it so easy to adjust my perception when it comes to these things. I mean, I can tell you, I've been at a number of camp meetings, right? And for those of you who don't know what a camp meeting is, that's where a group of people come together typically for a week and they have camp meetings, and where every night there is preaching of the word, there is, singing of hymns, and of course the offering plate quite a bit. But yeah, and certain camp meetings pretty large, 4 or 5,000 people. Sometimes we've been to one that was over 20,000. So let me set this for you, because when I now realize the signs that have been presented to moi, I am ready to pick up on it. And here's why. So we're all going to this. Some evangelist is going to be speaking the word of God. And so we want to be a part of this. We want to be a part of that movement of the Spirit. Now, you see, this depends on what spirit you're dealing with, right? So we all get there and we're sitting, we're on the main floor, but there's this tens of thousands of people everywhere. So then the service starts, and you do the evocation. I wonder why they do that. And, you get everyone into the mood. That's why you sing. It's a proven fact. So once your energy has been programmed by the praise and worship, and the praise and worship is only designed for one thing, it's to begin to make you receptive. You become very pliable in that state, by the way. And so everyone is feeling the Holy Spirit, and, we're looking forward to it. And so the man of God comes out and he starts his sermon, his preaching, and then he stops and he says, William, Mary, two of you, stand up. Now, everybody, you could hear a pin drop, 20,000 people. So Mary Wynn stands up. She's looking around and she says, is it me? William Cook says, is it me? So they stand up. Now, it's really interesting what's happening here, because when you are singled out, you have the direct full force of the psychic energy of that congregation, of that gathering. There's a lot going on here. And so the man calls you out and says, come up on the stage. And then he proceeds to lay hands on you and begins to speak things about your life that no one else would know. And as this man of God continues and laying his hand, he begins to speak your future. Now you're totally open now. The code is being rewritten. And you've got the full psychic force of that audience all on you. Now, let me ask you something. Do you think Mary and William are going to believe what has been spoken to them and that it was divine providence? Hell yeah. Of course they are. Who wouldn't? When you have a gifted tarot card reader, it's no different. Or in any other of the modalities. It's the same communication pipeline. It's just a different area code. That's all. But you're plugging into it no matter what. It's the same thing. So, yeah. So when the things, Lori says, yeah, I knew it, grew it up in it while bringing back memories. Yeah, it's powerful, Lori. It is. And any of you, if you've ever experienced it, I have. I mean, you get slain in the spirit. How many of you ever experienced that? where, and I've done it, I've laid hands on people. A lot of times I didn't even have to touch them, and they just immediately were slain in the spirit. And I've seen some that it was a very mild effect. I've seen others where they were out for 10, 15 minutes. So is that the supernatural? Is that the paranormal? Is that how God works? Is that what's going on here? So as I have gotten into the occult and studied, David Barry is one of, I would say, would be, one of my compadres in there. Years and years ago, we were deeply, and I've studied in discipline, and I've read about the demons. I've talked to them. I know their names. I know the angelics. I know the system. We've all studied it here. But this is where I come from. And so for me, when I think of the spiritual aspect, it's not that foreign. Again, it's just a different area code that they're all dialing in to the same number. So Paul Joe says Kundalini. It's very interesting experience. And again, if anyone has ever experienced that, Lori, yeah, she said, was slain in the spirit. Think about this. Now, I have been in some circles with certain individuals and groups. I've yet to see anyone in any of these rituals being slain in the spirit. Now, I know what I was taught. And so that's, as the experiences, and folks, it's a strange experience. I'll communicate the best that I can recall. But when someone would lay hands on you, and it's always on the forehead, when they start to lay hands, it's like a fugue that comes over you. And I mean, you're carried into a place of where you're sharing two different realities, two different realms. Lori, wouldn't you say that that's a pretty good way to describe this? I mean, as I'm thinking back on it now, it really is. You're in two different realities at the same time. And it's strange. I've heard, when I have been slain in the spirit, a message. It's very different. So what's going on? Something's going on. Is that a form of possession? Oh, well, let's see. Let's define possession. Being overcome by something that is occupying your mind or your body. Well, damn. Well, don't tell them that, Steiger. Then they're going to get and realize what's going on here. So that's okay. But if I go out there and conjure an angel or a demon or whatever, right? Well, that's bad. Oh, okay. So some are describing it as a Kundalini, and that maybe it's an interesting way. Maybe it's a matter of thinking about it. Maybe it's an alignment of the chakras under religious experience. Why not? Perfect induction. Odin said, yeah, the preaching can't put you to sleep, can it? Particularly if you're a snorer, that's bad. So yeah, that's very interesting, because there's obviously something really going on, and it's interesting. I would say that the years, nearly 5 decades, but women were more apt to be slain in the spirit than men. I mean, there is a certain release you have to be, right? You have to basically kind of release self. Wow, this gets really, this is a cultish. This is what we're talking about. Holy crap. I mean, woo, okay. Mary, I love that. Okay. Well, this is so interesting. I mean, I'll have to ponder this over the weekend. This is curious because, as I have said all along, my initiation into the occult was 50 years of Christianity. And I wasn't in just the mainstream side, the Baptist, the Methodist. No, 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 no. I was over on the extreme side, those Pentecostal charismatic people, the ones that speak in tongues and, never handled the snakes. I ain't that. No, never got there. Although when I had a route that was actually through Kentucky, West Virginia, Tennessee, North Carolina, etc. I did stop into one of the churches that did do snake handling. Sat in the back row, and I still remember when that deacon come down and he was carrying that damn rattlesnake, and I said, "Speak to the hand." But if you've never experienced that, that is a trip, man. I mean, I have taken LSD by the 100 tabs, but I can tell you that is a trip that, woo, because they really do this. I mean, they really do, and they are in fact poisonous snakes. It's like, yeah, well, but it was a trip, no doubt. I mean, and I don't mock them. I mean, it's their belief system. They take that, of course, from the book of Mark, but there's real debate as to whether that was really ever said. I don't know. But yeah. Woo, all right. Isby, thank you. I am not be going to the ER full of 6 people again, waiting for hours for, hey, let me just tell you how that is. That's true. Lynn's son, due to an imbalance, went to an emergency room. And I've heard the stories that, it's like, not an hour wait, not 4-hour wait, not an 8-hour wait. Some people have been there 24 hours. And I'm going, so if it's an emergency room and you're there for 24 hours, you're either dead or you just said, screw this, I'm going to lay hands on myself and heal myself. So, yeah. Hey, Ballot Brand, how are you doing? Good to see you. Your dad still listens to Copeland and Joyce, huh? Wow. That's a head trip. I will say this about Joyce Myers. I was with Joyce in her early days. We went to the same church, Rick Shelton's church, Life Christian Center. And Joyce had been was moving out of her basement with her, I believe it was Wednesday morning, may have been Tuesday morning, women's group. And I'll tell you something about Joyce Myers. This is something, that woman, she knew exactly what she wanted. She knew exactly the path that she was going to go down to get to it. And she did. I remember her and I had I ran the bookstore. And so, yeah, we had I'll never forget this. We had a disagreement in exactly the purpose for a bookstore besides selling tapes. But anyway, so Brandon, that's interesting. But finishing out on Joyce real quick, she is very successful because that was her whole goal. And you equate success with financial abundance. And my hat's off to her. I mean, I've known Joyce. I've known a lot of them, Copeland included, and Kenneth. I mean, let me tell you, the message works. If you separate it out from the religious aspect, but the thing about it is the religion model is the perfect evergreen business model. You see, if you have a business model, you have to begin to determine, well, where's revenue going to come from? And do I have enough revenue to meet overhead and then eventually become profitable? Now, the thing about it is, if you have a charismatic personality and you begin to believe that God has spoken to you and that God is delivering a message through you to give to the masses, you can become very rich. Because that's how it works, particularly if your message about prosperity is, in order to prosper, is that you have to give. No, not bad. I've been to a mini meeting where the traveling evangelist, speaker, etc., would usually clip the audience for about 5,000, about 5K. Yeah, Schambach did about 4,000, but for the most, they did about 5. Now, that's not bad. And if you're a traveling evangelist, great entrepreneurs, right? Well, if you get yourself lined up with 8, 9 churches a month, do the math. I mean, that's $50,000 cash. That's $600,000 a year. Yeah. See, that's why they get you to sing before they do the offering plate. Yeah. Anyway, I got on that tangent, but that's interesting, Brandon. But again, getting back to their technique, the principle works. I mean, giving is a natural rhythm of the universe. And if you are a giver in many aspects of your life in so many other ways, I often tell people, when back in the day when I did counseling, and they were saying, well, we don't have money to give. What can we do? Well, I told them, I said, well, what's the most valuable asset that you own? They're just looking. It's your time. It's the most valuable thing that you have. Now, let's say, and as I told people, because I did this, when you don't have anything, when the rug has been pulled out from under you, what do? Well, I had a lawnmower. So I mowed my neighbor's yard. Now, I didn't do it just for the fact of mowing their yard. I was doing it as I was planting a seed. It was my time. What is my time worth? Well, what the value is of your time. And that's what I was giving. It works. Okay, they took my last dollar. Know that feeling. That is so true, so true, so true. Charity is also tax deductible. Yeah, I mean, folks, I have seen it. I mean, yeah, it's all religion comes with a price, but doesn't philosophy too? David, how would you address that? Yay, nay, maybe? I don't know. Yeah. Well, this has been an interesting chat, hasn't it? I love this. And just watching the comments in the chat room. John Price says, I hated all the singing. I put $5 in the offering plate and took out 3 and they got pissed. Yeah. I knew an usher, John, right here, one of the churches I used to go to, because I was the head usher. I was the guy that was counting the money and the whole bit. And so, you get, people in the church to help you with the offering. This guy, I loved it. He had a lot of zeal. And he would pass the plate, and if you didn't put enough money in there, he'd tell you dig a little deeper. Actually did. I swear, embarrassed the crap out of people. I had to tell him. I said, Art, you can't be doing that, man. I mean, the idea is that God loves a cheerful, prompt to giver, not one that's, being strong armed. But in the end, you're still being strong armed. So, yeah. So, John, I totally get it. I really have. And it's an interesting thing, when you count the offering and you do that year and year, you find the trends. I mean, you really do. Statistically, here's something out of a congregation, and I'm just going to use 100 for statistical purposes. Out of 100 people who are able to give, here's the thing, 30% of that 100 carry the burden for the other 70%. Most churches, their budgets are met because of the faithful givers, tithers of that. And it was the same in every church, about 30%. You have the larger percentage of about 40% who don't give anything at all. And then you have that other middle ground. So yeah, it's real interesting. When I developed the first mobile payment app for churches, do you know how much churches take in annually? Anyone want to take a guess? Who would like to take a guess on what they produce in cash? It's over $100 billion here in America. Yeah. And then when you add all the other into it, you're looking at close to $750 billion. Now, that was back in the day when I was involved in the industry. So you could see why that was. All right. Well, wasn't going to talk about, past things. So, folks, I'm going to cut it off here. Got lots to do. Will not be on tomorrow. Hopefully to see everyone on Monday. But I just tell you, each of you have my deepest respect and adoration. I really do appreciate all of you. As I look at names going through here, I know you by your name, and I get to know you as well by your comments. And it's an expression of who you are. So you're beautiful people. And as I said, you've enriched my life so much. Yeah. David Barry, we got to get together. That's all I got to say. Pre-Mental, good to see you as well. So Susie Q, right back at you. Gaza, how you doing, brother? So Lost in Space, Ruby Costello, good to see you, my dear. Miss Trina, much love to you, my dear. And all the rest, thank you all. And again, I just wish I could just drop into you the things that are happening as a result in my life. And I guess that's why you do this. It's a lot of fun. So anyway, until we meet again, keep beautiful, keep singing, and keep happy. That's the way we're going to do it. That'll change all this negativity. All right. Much love, everyone.